Coming up on this edition of Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports, I'm Chase Sr. Eagles General Manager Howie Roseman did it again. What do I mean by that? Stay tuned to find out. I first want to say thank you to all of the real ones, though. Over the weekend, following our watch party, we surpassed 79,000 subscribers right here on the channel. And next up, my goal is to get Eagles Now to 80,000 subscribers by week 1. My first Eagles jersey, an Irving Fryer jersey. He used to wear number 80 back in the day, and I think that we can certainly get there. And then during the 2024 season, my huge goal is to get that silver plaque from YouTube and to reach 100,000 subscribers. As you can see with these figures here to my right, we're closing in on that 80K number. And if you want shows every single day that cover the birds in an insightful, informative, entertaining, thought-provoking way that makes you feel involved with the show, joining a bird gang of nearly 80,000 subs, hit that subscribe button right now. We certainly appreciate that, and we will not let you down. First, I want to start off with some news here from Ian Rappaport, and then we'll get into the subject at hand, how Howie Roseman did it again. And as you look ahead to Tuesday, NFL roster cutdown day, all teams across the National Football League will have to cut their rosters from 90 players to 53. This has implications on that. Eagles rookie wide receiver Ainias Smith reported discomfort in his ankle and hamstring after completing Saturday's preseason finale against the Minnesota Vikings. The fifth rounder, according to Ian Rappaport, getting an MRI, and his availability to start the season is in some doubt. To me, I saw this. I said it to producer Chip right away. It screams Ainias Smith is hurt. He's also not ready yet to be an NFL player on a 53-man roster. So I think the Eagles are going to place him on IR. Season ending, short-term IR, and then they'll be able to keep Paris Campbell as one of the wide receivers on their initial 53-man roster. We see these type of roster gymnastics all of the time where a player goes on IR or starts the season on PUP with a phantom type of injury. The injury is probably somewhat legit, and it's unfortunate for Ainias Smith, late-round pick out of Texas A&M for Philadelphia from April's 2024 draft, because over the offseason, he also had to undergo surgery on his shin. But this is a way to buy him some time, buy the Eagles some time, and give them some type of roster flexibility. And it's funny because on my initial 53-man roster projection and my final one in the lead up to Tuesday, I did have Ainias Smith making the team. He has put together a good last couple of weeks of training camp in the preseason, and even after that trade of Jahan Dotson coming to the Birds from the Washington Commanders, I still thought that Howie was going to give Ainias Smith the benefit of the doubt because he was a rookie this year, but I think he's going to go on IR, and then the corresponding roster move, Eagles are going to sign Paris Campbell, or at least have him as part of their initial 53-man roster. That video is up right now on the channel. Be sure to check it out. Okay, I started the show by saying this. Howie Roseman did it again. And this is going to be a very interesting deep dive type of show that I guarantee you is going to be entertaining. It's going to be insightful, and it's going to get the mind going a little bit. This offseason across the National Football League, we have seen the wide receiver market absolutely explode on multiple occasions. And when it comes to paying wide receivers and the wide receiver market in general, Howie Roseman approached this in a very smart manner, and he played his cards brilliantly. This especially comes to the forefront, this conversation, because today the Dallas Cowboys and their star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb finally came to an agreement on a long-term contract extension as CeeDee up to this point had held out of Cowboys training camp in the preseason, and it's a massive deal. Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, breaking the news that the Cowboys, all-pro wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, they have agreed on a 4-year, $136 million extension, $100 million in guaranteed money, including a wide receiver record $38 million signing bonus. this. The deal makes Lamb the second highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Justin Jefferson up there for wide receivers. Nick Bosa up there for non-quarterbacks as well. So the reported contract details, 4-year deal for Lamb, total money, $136 million, average annual value, $34 million per season. That is right behind Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, who's making $35 million per year. And then the guaranteed rate, lofty, $100 million. Can you imagine signing a contract with your job, your employer, any employer, and right off the jump, you put your signature on there, the John Hancock, and they're like, here's $100 million right from the get-go. Must be nice. Now, going back to Howie Roseman here, what did Howie do when it came to the two Eagles wide receivers who signed contract extensions this offseason? A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith. Howie got ahead of the wide receiver market. It's been months since Howie signed Brown and Smith to those deals, and they are team-friendly contracts when you compare them with other wide receivers across the league. A.J. Brown, $32 million per year, average annual value. DeVonta Smith, the best contract of the two, in my opinion, if we're talking about value, $25 million average annual value. And other teams across the NFL have vastly different team-building strategies. Whereas Philadelphia likes to get ahead of the market with Brown, Smith, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, last year with Jalen Hurts. Other teams want to wait to see what the market is going to be, what it becomes, how it dictates some of those other contracts. Look at one of the Eagles' NFC counterparts in the San Francisco 49ers. They historically have always waited until late in the offseason, going into training camp in the preseason, to sign their homegrown players to contract extensions. George Kittle didn't sign until the second week of August. Fred Warner was in July. Deebo Samuel the final day of July a couple of off seasons ago. Last year, Nick Bosa did not sign until the Wednesday in September before the season opener, and Brandon Ayuk hasn't signed yet. And the Niners have admitted, Ayuk has said, that by waiting, Ayuk's price tag has gone up. Niners could have had him in that DeVonta Smith type of neighborhood, $25, $26 million per year. But after Justin Jefferson got $35 million per year, that drove the price tag up for Brandon Ayuk. So you can see what I'm getting at here. And going back to the A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith contracts, when you compare these deals to Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, but also that next tier of Jalen Waddle and Amon-Ra St. Brown. These deals are phenomenally constructed by the Eagles general manager. 3-year, $96 million extension, average annual value of $32 million, total guaranteed money, $84. DeVonta Smith, now this is on top of his rookie deal. So when this sets in, as the NFL salary cap continues to increase, and with wide receiver salaries projected to continue to climb, this deal could be phenomenal. And I love the way that DeVonta Smith approached this. He said, you can't worry about other people's pockets. I'm in Philadelphia and I love it here. What a guy. 3 years, $75, $25 million per, total guaranteed money. Half of what CeeDee Lamb got at $51 million. You flip the page to the highest paid wide receivers, average per year. Look at where A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith are on this list as compared to their counterparts. Jefferson, CeeDee, ahead of A.J. Brown, as I said. Brown, just ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he's a way better wide receiver. Think about the production that Philadelphia has gotten from Brown his first 2 years, and then for DeVonta Smith, his first 3 years in the league. And DeVonta Smith is making less than all of these wide receivers that I just mentioned, including Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, and DeVonta Smith is there at $25 million flat. And DeVonta Smith, if he were on other teams, he'd be a number one. He's now obviously the Eagles' number 2, and Jalen Waddle is the Dolphins' number 2, and he's making $28.25. The alternative to all of this, imagine if the Eagles had that financial and team-building strategy where they would have waited. Brown could have seen this market explode if he hadn't signed up until this date of August 26th. And he could have said, well, hold on. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb getting that? I should make 35, 36. There could be an argument to be had. So his price tag, higher. DeVonta Smith, his price tag would have been higher. What then happens? It costs the Eagles millions of dollars, and it impacts Philadelphia's team building strategy. And another note here has to do with the Eagles' positional spending, the contract of Jalen Hurts, and more. So stay tuned for that as well. Hope you're enjoying the show up until this juncture. Eagles' positional spending. Even with signing A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith, Philadelphia has the 19th highest paid wide receiver room among 32 teams in the NFL. Their entire offense, with all of these marquee players, Brown, Smith, Goddard, Saquon, Hurts, 21st highest paid offense in the NFL. Now, they do invest in the offensive line, 8th most expensive. Running back, though, 22nd, even with Saquon, and tight end, 11th. That's why Howie Roseman, with the salary cap, with these contracts, is a genius. With player evaluation, he's certainly been up and down at times, but this is so important to have a general manager be able to pull off these deals, have foresight, be able to plan for the future, take temperatures of the room, because good businesses always look ahead and good businesses are always fiscally intelligent. So if you think Howie Roseman is a genius, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. If not, I disagree, but that's fine. This is America. You can comment why. More to get to here on the show, but first, today's Eagles Now is sponsored by our friends at Game Time. If you're looking to go to a sporting event, concert, comedy show, theater event, download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, to get the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed. Game Time specializes in last-minute tickets, so the prices actually go down the closer that you get to the event. Speaking of events, how incredible is it to be able to go to Lincoln Financial Field, an Eagles game, concert, comedy show, theater event, with some people who you really care about, friends, family members, significant others. You put together these great memories, and if you use our code CHATSPORTS, you're able to save money when you do that. Eagles home opener will be in prime time against the Atlanta Falcons. Still tickets for that game available on the Game Time app. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. If you want the bird's eye view, no pun intended, of Lincoln Financial Field, you can find tickets in that manner as well. Philadelphia Phillies games, Citizens Bank Park. It's always popping in South Philadelphia, across the street from the Link. Tickets available for some Phils games down the stretch as they make this playoff run. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account, redeem the code CHATSPORTS. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. So what a wide receiver duo that Philadelphia has as we continue this conversation. And that wide receiver duo is now locked up on affordable deals, and the wide receiver market, as the NFL salary cap goes up, wide receivers will become more expensive. You're getting these contracts locked in at a very affordable rate. It's like investing in a house in a neighborhood that you kind of see is going to explode down the road, and you pay, let's say, $400,000 for that house, and then over time, the value of that house increases, and then you could sell that puppy down the road for $1 million. Boom, $600,000 right there. That's what we call cheddar. A.J. Brown in Philadelphia to start his career has put together the two best seasons in the history of this organization as far as production at the wide receiver position. 2022, 17 games played, 145 targets, 88 grabs, nearly 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, 17 yards per catch. Then last year, 158 targets, 106 catches, 1,400 plus yards, 7 touchdowns, yards per catch at 13.7. With his size, with his tackle-breaking ability, him having the long ball threat to his game, everything to his route tree, that little turnaround after the stop route, he's so dynamic and certainly one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And then DeVonta Smith, I think he's only scratching the surface. I think that he can continue to get better. I think that he can continue to improve. And I think with DeVonta Smith, we're looking at a player here who could have a breakout year in 2024. Excellent training camp, was unstoppable, and the production has been very, very steady his first 3 years in the NFL. And what's incredible is that the man throwing Smith and Brown the football is Jalen Hurts. And this goes back to Howie Roseman and him being a genius on display. Jalen Hurts does not have a cap hit more than $32 million until the 2027 season. So you have A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith on these really team-friendly deals. Jalen Hurts on a team-friendly deal. We looked at the Eagles' positional spending. Eagles now and in the future are going to continue to be in a good spot where they can be a sustainable winner. Whereas, we throw it back to CeeDee Lamb, the Dallas Cowboys after this year might have to give Dak Prescott $60+ million per season for a quarterback who has 2 career playoff wins. And this offseason, the Cowboys spent the least amount of money in the National Football League prior to signing CeeDee Lamb to that contract extension. There are 2 ways to go about building a team: roster construction, payments, and I'd rather be on the side of the Philadelphia Eagles as compared to the Dallas Cowboys. So if you love the Birds, hate the Cowboys, type F Dallas down in the chat. Thank you so much for watching today's Eagles Now. Don't forget to go back and look at my initial 53-man roster projection. It's up on the channel right now.